You walk into Coles thinking you are doing a smart, everyday Australian shop. Flybys, points ticking up, down specials everywhere, health stars smiling back at you. But behind those red logos are Coles foods tied to Escherichia, coli recalls, hepatitis A outbreaks, heavy preservatives and fake health halos that hit your body like junk food over time. We have been trained to trust that if it is on a Coles shelf, it must be safe. The ugly truth is that recalls for contaminated salads and misdated smoked salmon keep piling up, while Coles bread, ham and yogurt quietly turn into ultra-processed chemistry projects. So today, I'm calling out 7 Coles foods you should seriously rethink right now, and what to grab instead if you actually want your future self to thank you. Number 7. Coles bagged salad leaves and spinach. You have seen them in every Coles refrigerator. Coles baby spinach, 120 grams. Coles 4-leaf blend, Coles spinach and rocket, family mix stir-fry and more. They look like the definition of healthy convenience, washed, chopped, and ready to throw straight into a bowl. But in March 2025, Coles had to issue a major recall of more than 20 pre-packed salad products because of fears of contamination with Shiga toxin producing Escherichia coli. The recalled products included Coles spinach in 60, 120, 280 and 400 gram packs, Coles spinach and kale 300 grams, Coles spinach and rocket in 60 and 120 gram packs, Coles 4-leaf blend 200 grams, Coles beet slaw 320 grams, family mix stir-fry, and other Coles branded mixed leaf packs and salad kits in multiple states and territories. The official recall notice from Food Standards Australia, New Zealand and Coles described the problem as potential microbial contamination with Shiga toxin producing Escherichia coli and stated very clearly that these products may cause illness if consumed. The advice to customers was simple. Do not eat these salads, throw them out or return them to Coles for a refund, and seek medical advice if you are concerned about your health. Why does this matter beyond that single recall event? Because pre-packed bagged salads are one of the most recall-prone food categories we have. Leaves are washed, chopped and tumbled in large industrial facilities, so if dangerous bacteria get into the system, they can be spread across thousands of bags in a single production run. Those bags then travel through the cold chain, sit in store refrigerators, and finally in your home refrigerator. And almost all of them are eaten raw, with no cooking step to kill what might be there. Meanwhile, the Coles packaging says things like washed and ready to eat and fresh and crisp, and it sits in the so-called health halo part of the store. On the surface, it looks like a time-saving, health-boosting hack. Underneath, it is a fragile industrial product that has already triggered nationwide Escherichia coli recalls more than once. If you have ever fed your children a Coles salad bag straight from the fridge, thinking this is the safest, healthiest option, that recall history should make you pause. And if you think, all right, I will skip the salad and just buy frozen fruit instead, that is surely safer, number 6 shows how even that bet has gone badly wrong before. Number 6. Frozen mixed berries sold at Coles. Frozen berries feel like the perfect health flex. You put them in smoothies, overnight oats and so-called better desserts. For years, Coles stacked its freezers with brands like Nana's and Creative Gourmet until that confidence was shattered. In 2015, Australia was hit with a hepatitis A virus outbreak that was linked to imported frozen mixed berries. The brands at the center of the outbreak were Nana's frozen mixed berries in 1 kilogram bags, and Creative Gourmet mixed berries in 300 and 500 gram bags, all packed for Patty's Foods and sold nationally through big supermarkets, including Coles, Woolworths and IGA. Health authorities connected at least 5 confirmed hepatitis A cases, and later more than 10 cases, to those frozen berry products, including people in Victoria and New South Wales. The response was a full national recall of the affected Nana's and Creative Gourmet frozen berry packs. Hepatitis A is not just a mild stomach upset. It can cause fever, fatigue, dark urine, pale stools, abdominal pain and yellowing of the skin and eyes, and people can be unwell for weeks, with higher risks for some vulnerable groups. What does that mean for your trolley today? Those brands are now back on supermarket shelves, and food safety testing on imported berries has been tightened since 2015. But the outbreak exposed a deeper issue. Coles and other big chains are comfortable filling freezers with imported frozen berries that have long, complex supply chains in countries where Australian shoppers have almost no visibility of farming and processing standards. A product that looks like the purest health food in your freezer can be just one contaminated shipment away from a national health scare. The front of the pack shows antioxidant-rich superberries. The recall notices quietly reminded everyone that those same packs were imported, packed in China and Chile, and linked to hepatitis A virus. If you have ever thrown a handful of frozen berries from Coles into a smoothie without thinking twice, this history is why blind trust is dangerous. And if you are now thinking, fine, I will go back to basics with bread and sandwiches and simple toast. Number 5 shows how even your Coles loaf can be more chemistry than food. Number 5, Coles Bakery white bread and long life loaves. Bread should be one of the simplest foods in the supermarket. Flour, water, yeast and salt. 4 ingredients. But when you look closely at many Coles Bakery and Coles branded sliced loaves, you will see a very different picture. Guides to supermarket bread in Australia show that modern industrial loaves often contain emulsifiers such as 4-7-1 and 4-8-1, vegetable gums, dough improvers like amino acid 920 and ascorbic acid, and preservatives such as calcium propionate, known as additive number 282, which is used to slow mold growth and keep bread soft for longer. Choice, a major Australian consumer organisation, notes that emulsifiers and improvers are widely used to speed up dough handling, help sliced bread retain its shape, and extend shelf life by slowing the staling process, while calcium propionate is the best-known preservative of public concern in bread. Research and food intolerance networks have reported that some children and adults appear to react badly to preservative 282, with irritability, restlessness, inattention, and sleep disturbance described in controlled trials. Ingredient lists compiled for products such as Coles English-style ham sliced and many supermarket loaves show how common it is to see long strings of numbers and chemical names instead of a short, recognizable list. So what does this mean in everyday life? Instead of feeding your family flour, water, salt and yeast, many Coles bread products are delivering a long list of additives designed for factory efficiency, ultra-soft texture and long shelf life, including preservatives like 282 that some parents choose to avoid after behavioral issues. The label on the shelf may say freshly baked in store, but much of that so-called fresh bread is baked in large factories, frozen, then finished in store, with improvers and preservatives doing the hard work of making it look and feel fresh days later. If your Coles loaf stays soft and apparently mold-free on the bench for 10 days, that is not a miracle. That is calcium propionate and other additives doing exactly what they were designed to do. If you are telling yourself, at least I balance that with yogurt and cereal, they have health stars and look good on paper. Number 4 is where the sugar story hits hard. Number 4, Coles flavoured yogurts and so-called light yogurts. In the dairy aisle, Coles loves to show you rows of little Coles vanilla yogurt tubs for children's lunchboxes and big light Greek-style tubs with bold claims about reduced fat. They look like smart choices, calcium, protein and friendly live cultures, But the numbers tell a different story. According to the Coles Nutrition Information Panel, Coles Vanilla Yogurt 150-gram tub contains 10.1 grams of sugar per 100 grams and 15.2 grams of sugar per full tub, which is roughly 4 teaspoons of sugar in a single small container. Independent nutrition databases show similar values for Coles vanilla-style yogurts that are sold as 98% fat-free, with around 19 grams of carbohydrate in a 150-gram serve, the vast majority coming from sugar. By comparison, Coles Light Greek-style yogurt has around 6 grams of sugars and a similar amount of protein per serve, with almost no fat, which can leave you less satisfied and more likely to keep snacking. The issue is not that yogurt is bad. The problem is that many Coles branded flavored yogurts quietly behave more like dessert than breakfast, especially for children. They deliver high sugar per serve, very little fat to slow absorption, and are often eaten every single day because parents believe they are choosing a healthier snack. The front of the tub shouts source of calcium and made with real vanilla or real fruit. The back quietly reveals several teaspoons worth of sugar in a single serve, which is a big chunk of a small child's recommended daily free sugar intake before you even open the cereal box. If you start your day with a sweetened yogurt and then add a sugary cereal, you have effectively turned breakfast into a double dessert before 9 o'clock in the morning, and you ride the blood sugar roller coaster for the rest of the day. If you are thinking, fine, I will make a sandwich instead, ham and bread must be better than this sugar mess. Number 3 shows how the deli section has its own quiet problems. Number 3, Coles sliced ham and deli meats. Coles sells endless varieties of ham, turkey, chicken loaf and other cold cuts, both as pre-packed slices and from the deli counter. They are marketed as easy protein for sandwiches, toasties and entertaining platters. Take Coles English-style ham sliced as an example. The ingredient list, as compiled by allergy and label scanning services, shows sow stall-free pork around 74%, water, cure made of salt, sugar, mineral salts 450 and 451, dextrose, antioxidant 316, preservative 250, acidity regulators 326 and 262, modified starch 1442, vegetable gum 407A, and natural flavoring with milk and soy also present. You're not just eating pork, you are also eating sodium nitrite, listed as preservative 250, that keeps ham pink and helps prevent growth of very dangerous bacteria such as the one that causes botulism. You are eating phosphate salts such as 450 and 451 to hold extra water and improve texture, plus starches, gums and flavorings to standardize mouthfeel and taste. Nitrites are legal and they serve a genuine food safety function, but there is a major catch. After reviewing hundreds of studies, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is the cancer research arm of the World Health Organization, classified processed meat, including ham, bacon and sausages, as carcinogenic to humans. Group 1, based on sufficient evidence that regular consumption increases the risk of colorectal cancer. The evaluation noted that cancer risk rises with the amount of processed meat eaten, and that processed meat should be something we limit, not eat daily. That does not mean one single ham sandwich is equivalent to smoking a cigarette. It means that the more processed meat you eat over your lifetime, the more your bowel cancer risk slowly climbs. So when Coles sells cheap ham and chicken loaf full of nitrite, water and starch as everyday sandwich fillers, and we put those slices into lunchboxes 5 days a week, we are not just talking about an occasional indulgence. We are building a daily habit around a product type that global cancer experts clearly advise us to limit. The label says sandwich favorite. The science says something to eat only sometimes, not as your default source of protein every school day. If you are now thinking, all right, I will move away from meat and toward fish, smoked salmon and seafood feel lighter and healthier. Number 2 is the wake-up call you need. Number 2, Coles Tasmanian smoked salmon and other cold smoked fish. Smoked salmon is one of Coles' most aspirational products. You will find Coles Tasmanian smoked salmon 150 grams in the refrigerator near the deli and cheese. It feels like a safe luxury, omega-3 fats, light protein and fancy brunch vibes. There are 2 big issues here. First, the recall history. In April 2021, Coles recalled Coles Tasmanian smoked salmon 150-gram packs sold in Victoria and Western Australia because they carried an incorrect use by date. The product had been printed with a use by date of 7 April 2023 instead of 7 May 2021, which made it appear safe for far longer than it actually was. Food Standards Australia, New Zealand and Coles warned that while the salmon was safe to eat at the time of the recall, it could cause illness if eaten after the real use by date, and customers should not consume it beyond 7 May 2021. Second, the inherent risk profile of cold smoked salmon. Food safety authorities have long flagged ready-to-eat cold smoked fish, including smoked salmon and smoked trout, as high-risk foods for Listeria monocytogenes infection in pregnant women, older people and those with weakened immune systems. Cold smoking is carried out at relatively low temperatures that do not reliably kill Listeria bacteria, and if Listeria is present on the fish, it can survive the process and even multiply slowly in vacuum-packed smoked salmon stored in the refrigerator. That is why authorities in places like the United Kingdom now advise higher-risk groups to avoid ready-to-eat cold smoked fish unless it has been thoroughly cooked before eating. Yet Coles places smoked salmon into many trolleys through standalone packs, ready-made sandwiches, salads, and entertaining platters. The branding promises premium Tasmanian smoked salmon. The fine print from health departments effectively says high-risk, ready-to-eat product that certain people should not be eating at all. If you are pregnant, older, or serving someone whose immune system is not strong, that contradiction really matters. If you are thinking, fine, I will skip the fancy items and just stick to basic salads and ready meals from Coles, they must be safe or they would not be allowed to sell them. Number 1 is where the whole system really shows itself. Number 1. Coles ready-to-eat salad bowls and chilled meals. This sits at the top of the list for a reason. Coles does not just sell plain salad leaves. It sells complete ready-to-eat salad bowls and meals, such as Mediterranean-style bowls, roasted pumpkin, feta and walnut salads, coleslaw tubs and other chilled eat straight from the pack options. They look like the perfect answer for time-poor Australians. Vegetables already chopped, dressing included, and some protein on top. But when the big Escherichia coli salad recall hit in March 2025, it did not just affect loose leaves. It also swept up salad bowls and prepared meals that use those leaves as a base. Reports on the recall list Coles products such as Mediterranean-style salad bowls, roasted pumpkin, feta and walnut salads, and other ready-to-eat salad kits that incorporated the contaminated spinach and mixed leaves. Food safety authorities and Coles warned that eating those products could cause illness and advised customers to dispose of them or get a refund. And this is not an isolated problem for one narrow category. Soft cheeses imported and sold through major supermarkets have been recalled over fears of Listeria contamination in the past, and coleslaw and other chilled, high-moisture deli salads have been recalled in different markets due to Listeria concerns. Food safety news services keep documenting how ready-to-eat salads, deli items and smoked fish are repeat offenders on recall lists. Ready-to-eat chilled meals sit at the crossroads of everything risky. High moisture, lots of handling and processing, multiple ingredients from different suppliers, and no cooking step at home to kill whatever might still be there. Coles has built a big convenience offering on top of that model. The packaging calls these products fresh, quick, and nutritious. But recall notices from regulators and warnings about listeria, salmonella, and Escherichia coli in chilled, ready-to-eat foods tell a different story. When you add up recalled salads, high-sugar yogurts, additive-heavy bread, nitrite-rich deli meats, and high-risk smoked salmon, you start to see why so many Australians feel unwell, even when they think they are eating reasonably. The pattern: how Coles quietly pulled us away from real food. Look at these 7 categories side by side, and the pattern becomes clear. Industrial convenience has replaced real ingredients. Bagged salads, ready bowls, frozen berries and smoked salmon are all heavily processed somewhere far from your kitchen. Additives and preservatives have replaced time. Bread is packed with preservative 282 and emulsifiers. Deli meats are held together with nitrites, phosphates, starch and gums. Sugar dresses itself up as healthy. Coles yogurts deliver dessert-level sugar in a tub labeled as a calcium-rich snack. High-risk ready-to-eat foods are pushed as everyday staples. Salads, coleslaws, chilled meals and cold smoked fish that food safety agencies say carry real microbial risks are sold as normal lunch and dinner options. Australian food culture drifted from buying whole vegetables, real bread and fresh cuts of meat and fish to grabbing plastic tubs, bags and packets from Coles refrigerators and telling ourselves it is fine because the branding looks healthy. We outsourced our judgment to labels and logos. Slowly, one half-price special at a time and one convenience product at a time, we filled our trolleys with foods that quietly chip away at our health, but you are not stuck there. You can still use Coles without wrecking your body in the process. Now let us talk about the options inside and outside Coles that are actually worth your time. Safer move 1. Whole vegetables instead of bagged salads and bowls. Instead of Coles baby spinach 120 grams, 4-leaf blend, and pre-made salad bowls, choose whole lettuce, cabbage, bunches of spinach or silver beet and loose vegetables you wash and chop yourself. You cut out one of the most recall-prone food categories, reduce the number of handling steps and surfaces, and shorten the time from farm to plate. It adds 3 to 5 minutes of work at home, but you save yourself from playing salad roulette with Shiga toxin-producing Escherichia coli and other dangerous bugs. Safer move 2. Real bread instead of long-life loaves. Walk past the plastic-wrapped sliced loaves that stay soft for weeks. Head instead to the in-store bakery and look for loaves with short ingredient lists, or, even better, support a local bakery near Coles that sells bread with 4 or 5 ingredients at most. You are looking for ingredient lists that basically say wheat flour, water, yeast and salt, maybe with seeds or whole grains, and no preservative 282 and no long string of emulsifiers. Real bread goes stale faster and sometimes grows mold sooner, but that is exactly what real bread is meant to do. Safer move 3. Plain yogurt, then add your own flavour instead of Coles vanilla yogurt and sugary kids' tubs. Grab plain Greek style or natural yogurt with minimal sugars, checking the per 100-gram line on the label. You can choose full-fat yogurt if you want more satisfaction and better hunger control, then add fresh fruit, a drizzle of honey, or a handful of nuts at home. That way you control the sweetness instead of Coles doing it for you. And you avoid turning breakfast into dessert in disguise. Safer move 4. Deli meat as a treat, not a habit. Do not rely on Coles ham and chicken loaf for daily lunches. Treat deli meat like a sometimes food. Use leftover roast chicken, beef or pork you have cooked yourself in sandwiches and salads. If you do buy sliced meat, look for versions with shorter ingredient lists and fewer additives, and use them occasionally rather than every day. You immediately cut your exposure to nitrites and ultra-processed meat without needing to swear off ham forever. Safer move 5. Be picky with seafood and skip high-risk formats. From Coles refrigerators and freezers, Avoid cold smoked salmon and ready-to-eat chilled seafood if you or someone you are feeding is pregnant, elderly, or living with a weakened immune system, because those groups are at higher risk from listeria infection. Prefer frozen raw fish that you cook thoroughly or canned fish that you then heat as part of a meal. When possible, spend some of your seafood budget at a local fishmonger or a trusted market stall where you can ask direct questions about species, origin, and whether the product has been previously frozen. You might still use coals for pantry staples, fruit specials, or tinned goods, but you are no longer trusting its highest risk chilled convenience foods by default. How you protect your plate from here? Coles is not going to change its product lineup out of kindness. It will change when enough Australians stop rewarding the worst products with their money. That starts with tiny moves. Turn every packet around and read the ingredient list all the way to the end. Treat every ready-to-eat chilled meal with caution, unless you really trust the category and the supplier. Swap even 1 or 2 of these 7 red flag Coles foods for real low-ingredient alternatives. Step 1. Look for a clear species or product name, not just vague words like white fish, mixed berries, salad mix, or deli meat. If the label will not tell you what something actually is, put it back. Step 2. Check the country of origin and details of processing. If you see imported berries packed in China and Chile, or fish from high-volume export countries with no further information, ask yourself if you are comfortable with that history. Step 3. For anything smoked, chilled, and ready to eat, especially seafood, remember that these sit at the risky end of the food safety spectrum and are not appropriate for everyone in the family. You do not have to fix the whole supermarket system on your own, but you absolutely can stop buying the worst offenders, start asking what is this exactly every single time, and move even a small part of your food budget toward real named ingredients. If this video makes you want to go and audit your pantry and refrigerator for Coles products that might be quietly undermining your health, tap like so more Australians see it. If you want more deep dives that expose supermarket tricks and help you protect your plate, your health, and your family, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because this is just the start of what is hiding in those aisles. And tell me in the comments, which Coles product shocked you the most today? Have you ever been caught out by a recall, moldy bread, or a so-called healthy yogurt that turned out to be mostly sugar? Share your story below, because the more we talk about what is really in our trolleys, the harder it becomes for any supermarket to hide behind health stars and feel-good slogans. This video is for general information and opinion only. It is based on publicly available research, government trade data, food safety reports, sustainable seafood guides, and news articles, and it is not medical advice, nutrition advice, or legal advice. Always check the latest official recall information, follow your local food safety authority guidelines, read labels for yourself, and talk to a qualified health professional about your own situation before making major changes to your diet or health decisions.